Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to another brand new video. So recently I was going through my timeline and somebody has sent me a DM of this individual who is a teacher. Now this person happens to be a trans identifying man, so a biological male who thinks they are a female. Now this person was going on and on in this video about how they teach their kids and how they pretty much give their children in school information regarding gender identity and of course their own gender identity and their own journey, so to speak. I know. Now it was a short video, so it prompted me to want to do some research and see if there was a common theme with this person. So I put my detective hat on and actually found this person's TikTok with over, I think, 75,000 followers. And sadly enough, their feed is full of videos of them bragging about how they teach their kids this ideology in the classroom. So not math, not science, not English, no, gender identity. So I figured if I gotta be tortured, so do you. So let's go through some of these videos together, analyze them, discuss them, and see if this person should be teaching or if they should be fired. You guys know I like doing videos like this, particularly because, in my view, if we continue to pretend like it's not happening, it continues to fester and grow. So I choose to use my channel to expose and to reveal individuals like this who have access to children. Because in my opinion, this person should not be a teacher and this person should not be having access to kids to indoctrinate them with their ideology. But that's just my opinion. So without further ado, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, grab some coffee. Let's watch these videos together and analyze. Get ready. All right, got the first video queued up. Let's watch the train wreck.
I pride myself on being a teacher who's very open about her life. And one of the things I'm very open about is my sexuality. I have a trans flag, a bi flag, a non-binary flag, all on my desk at my work. But there's one thing I'm not open about, and it's being poly. And today that actually became something I had to worry about for the first time. See, the kids are interviewing us teachers as a part of learning how to write profiles on others. They'll soon be doing it with each other, but they're starting with the teachers so they can all work together on one subject. And one of the kids on Tuesday is going to ask me if I have a partner. And the answer is yeah. And I have another one too. And I don't know how to handle that conversation because while I know that the kids are more accepting of things like homosexuality, bisexuality, all of that, polyamory is not in the conversation. It's not something that is talked about. And I worry not only would this be something that might lead to rumors that I am cheating on my partner or that I am a swinger or something like that, but would also just totally derail the class. So the obvious answer, the one that I went to first, is I'm not going to talk about it. But that feels wrong too. I don't like lying to my students. I don't like telling them falsehoods. And also, I don't feel comfortable answering the question by saying, yes, I have a partner, and having to pick which one I pick as the face for my relationship. That feels super, super gross, right? So I guess what tentatively I've decided after talking with my co-teachers and my assistant principal is maybe the right way to do it is answer the question honestly. Say, while I don't feel comfortable talking about who I'm in a relationship with in this specific setting, I will say that I am bisexual. I've dated people of many different genders. And if you're interested to talk about that or my own specific relationship, if you're really, really insistent, let's just not do it in the classroom setting and we can do it like in lunch or in the after-school GSA club or something like that, where maybe it's a little bit more of an acceptable and understanding situation to bring this up. Now, this is a long rambling thing, and that story has kind of wrapped itself up neatly, or at least it will on Tuesday. But I think it talks to a much broader issue, which is that, like, this is a really nuanced thought process I had to have, where I had to consider the emotional maturity of the kids, where I had to consider what they already know and are talking about and what they don't know and aren't talking about, and also have to consider how does this fit in with the content that I'm teaching. And the fact of the matter is, this is not a conversation that conservatives are having at all. They've decided that blanket statement, like, you can't do this at all. There's no place for it. And that just shows such a lack of thought and care. They're not understanding their children as people and where they're at. They're not understanding the content that is necessary, and they're not reckoning with any kind of reality. Yeah, maybe like this is going to be an uncomfortable situation that may lead to some strange conversations, but that's part of being a person. And I'd rather have the kids be able to have those conversations in a safe place at school than on the internet where there's no one to make sure they're learning the right, respectful information.
All right, I got to go in for this. Woohoo, okay. so much to go over. So much to go over in just that one video. And that's just one video, folks. Just one. Do you guys remember when you were kids and you were going to school? When I was a kid going to school, I didn't even know my teacher's first name. Didn't know it. Because back then, that was considered inappropriate. It was inappropriate to know personal information about your teacher because your teacher was solely there to teach you math, science, English, academics. He or she was not there to teach me about gender ideology, about sexuality, about topics that are not for the school setting. Now, I don't know what age group they teach. I have no clue, but I'm going to assume it's probably in the junior high school range because they do mention maturity, or I'm not sure about their maturity level. So I'm assuming they're probably not high schoolers. They're probably younger than that. But it just blows my mind. It blows my mind that in today's public school system, you have a teacher like this, and obviously a school system that allows this type of behavior because, as they said in the video, they spoke to other teachers in the school and the principal. And their conclusion was, you should answer it this way. Am I going crazy? Am I in the twilight zone right now? Like, I understand wanting to prepare kids for the outside world, wanting to prepare kids how to do interviews and how to ask questions, right? But the questions and the conversations should be appropriate for the school setting. End of story. It is not your place as a teacher to act as a parent and to decide what is appropriate for a child when it comes to topics like sexuality and having multiple sexual partners. Please tell me, in what universe is that appropriate for children in a school setting? Now, I'm not a prude. If you are into having multiple partners, that's you. Good luck. God bless you. Hopefully you're using protection, but that's your business. I don't need to know about it. But you know who else doesn't need to know about it? Your students. And then they had the nerve to say, well, it may not be appropriate to talk about this in the classroom setting, but we can meet up later and talk about it during lunch or in a different setting. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, how about no? How about stay away from kids? How about that? Why would children need to know about your sexual escapades? Please tell me. Please tell me. Why? Why would you want the kids that you're teaching to know so much personal information about yourself? Do you need affirmation that bad? That bad that you're willing to allow children to have access to your personal sexual life so you feel comfortable and you feel accepted? Like, talk about narcissism. And the fact that they had the nerve to say, well, conservatives don't want to talk about this. Yeah, you're damn right. Because conservatives are smart. Because conservatives understand that there's a time and place for everything. That conversation is not inappropriate in general. It's inappropriate in the classroom with an adult speaking to children. That's what makes it inappropriate. What part of that do you not understand? Like, it blows my mind how self-centered and narcissistic these people are. And the fact that this person is a teacher teaching children, guiding children, is scary. It is absolutely scary. Let me tell you something. If I had children, homeschooling. Homeschooling, homeschooling, homeschooling. End of story. I do not trust the public school system because of teachers like that, and a school system and a school board and principals who allow conversations like that to take place. And it's called education and progression. No, it's called craziness is what it's called. It's inappropriate. End of story. Next video.
But I'm going to be honest, I don't know how I'm going to address their question.
So the question is about coming out to students, and as a teacher who has worked with elementary, middle, and high school aged students, I think I can help you out a little bit here. The first thing you should do is just keep your language simple, because this teacher specifically is working with elementary school kids. You want to use language they're going to understand based off experiences they have. Just say something simple like this. Here's what I said. I used to be a boy, but that made me hurt. It made me feel uncomfortable. So I went to a doctor, we talked. Now I take medicine and I'm a girl. Boom, there you go. That's all you really need to know. It's not a perfect explanation. If you're not on hormones or you don't want to take hormones, it's not the best, but it can be a really good starting point. If you're not on hormones, I would just say that your doctor and you decided to do things like this, and it's going to be what's good for you to make you happy. Kids understand that. Generally speaking, kids like making people happy, you know? Now, you may see some purpose in going more in depth later on, but starting with that foundation is good for people. That said, before you do any of this, the most important thing you should do is talk with your administration. They may have their own ideas on how they want to handle this. They may say, this is kind of a big thing to do. You've taught people not only this class, we don't want this to sort of like get away from everyone. Maybe we should have some kind of like formalized conversation with more members of the school. They may say, no, we want to keep it just in your class. They may unfortunately say there's some things they're not okay with you saying, right? You need to understand all of that before you make steps. I'm usually totally on board with the ask for forgiveness, not permission little camp, but this is not the type of subject and not the type of time where you want to be making that risk. The best thing you'll get, though, is their support, because what you don't want to have to deal with is coming out to these kids then tell their parents, parents give calls, and you are now fielding a whole bunch of calls. Send them to admin. Send them straight to admin, and hopefully, fingers crossed, admin's line will be, listen, we hear ya, but she's our employee, we support her, we're going to back her in this way, and you're just going to have to deal with that. If you can get that, that's the best thing you have. So there's the main 2 bits of advice. Be prepared for a lot of questions, and don't be afraid to say, if you don't mind, I'm not comfortable answering that one. There you go. So yeah, feel free to ask me any follow-up questions in the comments. If you want to DM, let me know, and I'll follow you back and we can message. But good luck. I think it's going to be okay, all things considered. It's really not as scary as it seems. You got this. All right, bye-bye.
Okay, I have a question. Silly me, I have a question. Why do kids need to know about your sexuality in order for you to teach a class? Oh, wait. Why? I'm sure I had many teachers throughout elementary, junior high, and high school who were straight, bi, gay, and everything in between. And guess what? We never knew. You know why? Because it wasn't important. It wasn't our business. And again, a teacher's job is to teach the kids academics, not teach the kids about their personal sexual preferences or their preferred pronouns or their warped idea of what and who they are. I just don't understand. In that whole long-winded video, the question I had was, why? What purpose does it serve for that teacher to want to tell their children that they are bisexual, that they are gay, that they have multiple sexual partners, that they are trans inside? Those things are not appropriate for school. It's just not. Because it has nothing to do with you as a teacher teaching the kids and giving them the knowledge that they need to succeed in academics. Now, if this were a college course on social structure and sociology and interpersonal relationships, then I could understand having a more open dialogue. But we're talking about elementary and junior high school kids here. We're talking about kids who don't even understand the complexities of sexuality and gender identity. And here you have a teacher who's probably more confused than the kids, trying to teach them about their gender fluidity and their gender ideology and their sexuality. Again, be and do what you want to do on your own personal time with consenting adults. But why are you bringing it into the classroom? Why must you have 50,000 rainbow flags in the classroom? Why must you make it known to the kids your sexual partners and your preferred sexual ideas of what life is? Like, why is that important for the kids to understand? In order for you to teach, can you not teach the kids math and science and English without them first knowing that you are bisexual? I'm just curious. When do we cross the line and decide that the only way for these kids to be taught properly, they must know everything about my personal sexual life? Maybe I'm just from a different generation. I mean, I am an older millennial, so maybe my perspective is just different. And I'm assuming this person is probably a Gen Zer or somebody within that close age range. They don't seem to understand that the question isn't, how do I come out to my kids? The question is, why are you obsessed enough to want to come out to your children? Why is it important for your students in school to know about your personal sexual preferences? Why? I don't understand. And whatever happened to if a kid asks a question, hey Jimmy, thank you for asking that question, but it's not appropriate in the classroom and I'm not going to answer that. Anyway, so back to the textbook. What happened to that? What happened to that? What is so wrong about that? What is so wrong about creating boundaries with children and letting them know you can ask the question, but it doesn't mean you're going to get an answer? What happened to those days? Now it's like, oh, Jimmy asked a question. Everybody stop. Jimmy must know everything about me, because if I don't tell him, then I'm going to feel like I'm a liar. No, you're an adult. You're a teacher. Act like one. What is wrong with you? Blows my mind. And then of course, they made the comment about, and hopefully, if parents find out about it and they complain, the administration will have your back. And which they will, because we've seen it multiple times, right? The school board does not care about parents' rights and parental rights. They care about protecting their liberal, crazy ideologies, which is why they're still fighting to have certain books in the libraries that are very inappropriate, and why they are allowing teachers to be as open as they possibly can be about their sexual identities and their gender identities, because that, in some crazy world, has become more important than teaching children and protecting their minds. It is not your place as a teacher to decide when a child needs to learn and understand about adult situations. And if a child asks a question that is inappropriate, that is too personal, yes, it is your job as a teacher to say, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. Please do not ask me that question again. Your job is to be a teacher, not to be a best friend. Boundaries, people. What happened to boundaries? Next video. Alright guys, this is the last one because I cannot watch another video. I cannot watch another video of this crazy person. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I love you, but I can't do it. So let's watch this last video together and hopefully not lose our minds.
So I posted a TikTok yesterday about how I start conversations about gender and sexuality with my students. I ended up privating it for unrelated reasons, but I got a lot of weird feedback where some people like, you shouldn't start these conversations. You shouldn't talk about this with your kids. Yeah, you should. Because for these kids to know that a queer adult exists, to know that trans people exist and are normal, is life-changing.
It's not your place.
They need someone to start those conversations because they don't know they have the permission to ask me about stuff. They're uncomfortable. They're scared. They don't know what's going on with themselves, and they need someone to affirm that they're okay, that they're normal. And they need someone they can ask silly questions to. And I want to be that person. I've had people ask me permission to identify as non-binary. I've had people ask if it's all right to like they, them pronouns, but also like she, her, or something else. I've had someone ask me that if coming out as bisexual means they need to start wearing flannels. These kids need people to talk to.
Okay. That creepy ass laugh is reason enough to believe that that person is not right in the head. I'm sorry. Not right in the head. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Thankfully, that was more of a short video because I cannot handle the rambling of that person. Listen, yes, bi, straight, gay people exist in the world. Guess what? Those kids, as they get older, will understand that as they get older and as they experience life outside of the classroom. But again, it is not your place as a teacher to indoctrinate or to try to influence their view of topics such as sexuality, because it is not your place. You're a teacher, not a parent. There is a difference. If a parent is not ready to have those conversations with their children, what gives you the right? What gives you the right to violate that and to have those very in-depth, personal conversations about sexuality to another parent's child? What gives you the right? Then what happens is that child goes home and is more confused and is now asking their mom and dad, hey, what's gender identity? What does it mean if you're a girl but you want to be a boy? Because my teacher was talking about that and I'm confused. I thought boys and girls were just boys and girls. Like, what's going on? Like, now you're opening Pandora's box, right? Now you're forcing these parents to have these very uncomfortable conversations that they were not ready to have and they should not be forced to have because you can't keep your mouth shut. Because you are more concerned with you being affirmed and you feeling validated at the expense of parents now having to clean up the mess that you created. It's insanity to me. But you know, it's also just a reflection of how backwards our society has become, honestly. Because one thing that they said that really stood out to me in that video was, you know, these kids are asking all these questions and they want to know this, they want to know that, they want to know, should you wear flannel if you're gay? The fact that kids feel comfortable enough to even have those types of inappropriate conversations with their teachers just goes to show you how far we have gone as a society. Because again, when I was growing up, I was not allowed to ask personal questions to my teacher. I would have gotten in trouble. And I wouldn't have dared to ask a personal question of my teacher. Are you married? What's your sexuality? What do you think about this? Like, in what world would that ever be appropriate for a child to ask of their teacher? But what's happening is you have these teachers who have created these non-boundaries who want their students to ask them any and everything because it makes them feel good to know that they are influencing the next generation. So they love these questions. They love these conversations because they know that these conversations are going to trickle over into those children's parents' household. And that's what they want. You want to change the world, you want to change perspectives, you want to change society, start with the kids. And that's why people like that should have no access to children, because they are admitting that they don't care about boundaries. They don't care about how much indoctrination they give to children. As long as it affects their view of the world and their view starts to mirror his view, that's all that matters. And that is such a selfish, disgusting perspective. And in my opinion, an abuse of power as a teacher. Because your only job is to teach academics to your students, not to teach gender or sexual ideologies. That is not your place. How dare you? Again, folks, home school. If you can, please do so. Because trust and believe, you don't want somebody like that teaching your child. All right, that's all that I can take for today. I just can't do it. I love you guys so much, but I can't watch another freaking video of this person. I just can't do it. Can't do it. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this video and what you think of this topic. What are your views and opinions of teachers and boundaries? Do you think this teacher has completely crossed all boundaries and should be fired? If so, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. Until next time, peace.